that actually has a plan is the team of Trump-Vance.
It's pretty obvious to us that Donald Trump and JD Vance do not share our values in any way.
In the history of presidential elections in the US, vice presidential debates have rarely mattered. But when Tim Walz and JD Vance meet for the first and only VP debate, the stakes are going to be very high. This is an election where nothing has gone to plan, yet it's a tight race that could be decided by a few thousand votes in a handful of states. So every opportunity to gain political momentum matters. Donald Trump announced Vance as his running mate in July, a day after a gunman opened fire on him at a rally in Pennsylvania. Vance was formally unveiled at the Republican National Convention. In picking 40-year-old Vance, Trump was reaching out to white working-class voters in the industrial Midwest.
The vice president, Kamala Harris, she doesn't like me. Kamala Harris said something to the effect that I have no loyalty to this country. Well, I don't know, Kamala. I did serve in the United States Marine Corps and build a business. What the hell have you done other than collect a check?
In Vance, Trump found a kindred spirit. He is combative and his views on the economy, trade and immigration match Trump's. Vance, who's known for his best-selling memoir Hillbilly Elegy, has been selling the former president's message to sympathetic voters.
Vice President Harris, what are you going to do? What is your specific plan to solve the inflation crisis that's making it unaffordable to buy groceries and housing? And Kamala will say, well, did you know that I grew up in a middle-class family? I had a very nice lawn back there in Berkeley, California.
But in the last 3 months of being the Republican vice presidential candidate, Vance has had his fair share of controversies. An old video of him referring to Kamala Harris as a childless cat lady resurfaced and triggered a wave of outrage, including from the likes of Taylor Swift. He also amplified on unverified claims of Haitian migrants stealing and eating pets in Ohio.
Springfield is a microcosm of what Kamala Harris's open border is going to do in every town and every city in this country. Now, the promise, these guys actually say the promise is that if we bring in millions and millions of illegal, low-wage migrants, we are going to make America more prosperous. That's what they say.
On the other hand, the Democratic vice presidential nominee, Tim Walz, couldn't be more different than Vance. Walz is a high school teacher and football coach turned politician with a penchant for folksy Midwestern humor. The Minnesota governor was not a leading contender for the job.
Like all regular people I grew up with in the heartland, JD studied at Yale, had his career funded by Silicon Valley billionaires, and then wrote a bestseller trashing that community. Come on! That's not what middle America is. And I gotta tell you, I can't wait to debate the guy. That is, if he's willing to get off the couch and show up. So, you see what I did there? Look. I got to tell you, pointing out just an observation of mine that I made. I just have to say it. You know it, you feel it. These guys are creepy and yes, just weird as hell. That's what you see. That's what you see.
But his viral TV appearances where he described Republicans as weird and his ability to defend liberal policies in moderate-friendly language won over Kamala Harris.
This guy has spent his entire life focused on himself, obsessed with the past, and the thing that is unforgivable, rooting against America and America's people, which he's done consistently. He said a lot of weird stuff too, so I'm just going to say that. And that was you tell me you had this on your bingo card, and they're eating cats, It would be so. Oh, Michigan, we love you.
Democrats are hoping that Tim Walz's plain-spoken salt-of-the-earth appeal could cut into Republican votes. But Walz has been a vocal advocate for abortion rights, an issue which could go either way for the Democratic ticket.
They don't trust women, and women don't trust them. That is that simple. That is that simple. But for all of us, that old saying of the frog in the boiling water, whatever, don't allow ourselves to get this way.
Vance, who has served as a U.S. Marine in Iraq, is expected to hit Walz over claims that the Democrat left his U.S. National Guard unit before it deployed to Iraq. The vice presidential debate will present a fascinating contrast between two men with very different styles and political beliefs. Prior to getting on the ticket, both men had relatively low profiles in national politics. But both Walz and Vance were picked by their bosses to reach out to voters in the Midwestern battleground states. And with the microphones expected to be live throughout, allowing each candidate to cut into their rivals, the debate is expected to be a fiery one.